not right.
It's too bad I'm the
Not.
host. So,
Dude.
all right, sounds live, Joe. This is what happens when I'm the host. I make it happen.
Ah. 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 I hadn't even pop out the chat yet.
That's okay, Joe.
Hey, there we go. Okay.
The
I'm ready now.
castle of.
You can start.
Come on, here,
Lobbest
everybody.
thou holy hand grenade towards thy foe.
The number of the counting shall be 3. No more, no less. Thou shalt not count to 2, unless thou shalt continue counting unto 3.
5 is right out.
Nobody's seen that movie.
They're all youngins, I guess.
No,
Well, you're a youngin, so like, what? Hey.
It's the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Yes.
Brother Jeffrey. Not the Holy Hand Grenade. All right. We've now sufficiently derailed ourselves so we can get started.
Already. We derailed ourselves. I love that move too, Static.
Yes. Very nice throwing action. Anyway, welcome this morning to the Double Cup of Joe show. I'm your host, Joe.
And I'm your other host, Joe.
Yeah, we're just skating on by here, it looks like. So, if you don't know what this show's about, we don't know either, so that's great. welcome to the morning.
Figuring it out.
But this is a show where you can come by, get some advice, learn a little bit about how you can move your life in the right direction. And it's a place for great laughs if you get any of our references. If not, it's going to be a weird place for you. That's okay. Yeah. You can hang out here anyway. So today we are talking about action, which is like all these moves that Joe's putting on. It's what you get your life moving forward with. And today specifically, we're talking about what can stop you from action.
Yes.
Hitting those roadblocks. But before we get into that, we have our 3-step routine, process, whatever you want to call it. We just know that it has 3 steps. And we know that because counting. Yes, we like counting. So
3 shall be the number thou shalt count.
Yep, we abide by that rule as much as we can. So, and the 3 steps, of course, are: what are you thankful for? What are you looking forward to? And what are you going to do today to move your life forward? 3 very simple, very basic questions to ask yourself that can give you a great morning or afternoon or evening, but mostly just a great life.
Exactly.
So, we're going to start off with that today. So, we've got Joe here with us, who is going to give us an example of all these so that you know what you're up to. So, Joe, without further ado, what is your favorite color? I mean, what are you looking for? What are you thankful for today?
What am I? You almost went to step 2. You almost.
I almost did. I was.
Man, oh man, all this jokiness. You're losing focus, man. I am thankful for yesterday. How about that?
That's fair. I like that.
I thought yesterday I got a whole day in the studio. It's funny. I did an update for the Kickstarter campaign. For those of you who were backers, you all got an update that the book's done. It was hilarious. I posted chapter 11 from the book on there, and I noticed like 2 spelling errors after I posted it. And I was like, oh no, I never did a spell check on the thing. But yeah, so the artist's name is Rainy, not Riani. And
don't tell them they gotta find them. It's like a word search.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. So anyway, but so I fixed that stuff. But I spent all day in the studio. I was digging through all of our old songs, me and Steve, the members of a single duel, and we have this collection of songs that we could possibly work on and produce. And I think the list is over 40 now that we have to choose from. But after I dug through all the stuff yesterday. So I'm thankful that I got to do that yesterday because that put us in a really, really good spot.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hit the instruments. Literally and
I did not
figuratively.
actually.
Oh no, you didn't. You
Did
just
not touch the instruments at all. I dug through material and got set up to play instruments.
yeah, the computer type instruments. Yes, that's what I meant.
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not wrong.
Well, and I guess my headphones are instruments, so I use those.
Yes. Yes. Oh
Yes.
no, Jehoshaphat. Connection is bad.
Maybe this might make it better. No,
Hopefully that worked.
probably not.
Well, anyway, we're thankful that you're here regardless.
Just whack it with a handle or something.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Hey.
Wow, we got lots of people here today. We're thankful for you. But that's step number 1. What are you thankful for?
Hmm.
Start with that step because you can see all the great things that have already happened to you. All right, on to step number dos, which is 2 in English and 3 in Spanish. Wait, no, this is just dos is 2 in Spanish. Anyway, step number 2 is what are you looking forward to? It's that hopeful mentality of looking out into the future and going, that thing is going to happen and I'm excited for it.
Yes.
So, Joe's going to give us an example what he is looking forward to.
I'm actually looking sideways.
Oh, okay.
Not at you though. Look. I'm looking forward to that.
Ooh.
My drums are there.
Studio.
I'm gonna finally be sitting there today. I was gonna do that yesterday, and now today's the day. We got it all. It's gonna be good. Yes, I'm looking forward to a day in the studio playing drums, playing guitar, playing piano. Piano.
Perfect.
Yes, going to be good.
Very good.
That's what I'm looking forward to. And I'm looking forward to the album release that comes as a result of that work.
Could be good. Prepare
Coming soon
yourselves.
to a computer near you.
Computer. It'll be fun. I am excited for that too. Jeff says he's looking forward to continuing our progress on the 8 audio projects most pressing on his project plate. That's a lot of P's. Holy cow. That was really hard to say. Why have you done this to me, Jeff? Why?
Hef is looking forward to more coffee. Me too. Rock is looking forward to the day. I actually stick to the routine I made for myself. Oh, heavens.
Yep. It's a great day to look forward to that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be looking forward to something too, because that gives you some energy to get up and do the next step, which is, of course, what are you going to do today? To move yourself forward.
Did we freeze?
It's a dramatic pause.
It's the dramatic. I paused for the effect.
Perfect.
Oh yes. What? Oh, what am I going to do today? Is that the question?
Yeah, that is the question.
You're at step number 3, not 5.
That's 5. No. 1, 2, 5. 3, 3.
That's right, 3. What am I going to do today? I'm going to spend my day in the studio. I'm looking forward to what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to do that. Also, well, another thing that I have to do is work out some logistical stuff with health insurance. Ah, so hopefully I can get that out of the way, and that'll take less than like an hour because I know I'll spend a bunch of time on hold.
Oof.
But I'm gonna get past that, and I'm gonna spend the day in the studio. I'm gonna work on music, and this evening I'm gonna do "Don't Worry Wednesday" with Ryan,
Ooh.
the Wednesday edition. Static, he's somewhere in the chat. And yeah, we're gonna do "Don't Worry Wednesday"
Mhm.
tonight at 9 o'clock. So you should subscribe and come back tonight at 9. It'll be awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good work, Joe. Perfect. So that's the 3-step routine. What do you think before? What are you looking forward to? And what's one thing you're gonna do today to move your life forward? If you don't stick to your usual routine, at least stick to that routine because it's gonna move you forward, regardless of your regular routine. So
Mhm.
thanks for working through that with us. But now, onto the meat and potatoes. I think is the words that the kids are using these days.
That's the one they're using these days?
Yep, meat and potatoes.
Wow.
But the meat and what? Go ahead, Joe.
By the meat or the potatoes?
Yes. Oof. Well,
Bang.
I think I look more like a potato, so I guess you can be the meat. So.
Arby's. We have the meats. This is not a
Not a sponsored message, but it could be. Arby's, we're looking at you. So, man, we have so many references. I hope you enjoy all of these. If you don't get all the references, then this show probably means a lot less to you.
We're gonna have fun. As we said before, we're gonna have fun starting our day off right. You get to
Mhm.
hang out with us. And if you want to, join in the fun and laugh along with us, do it. That's gonna be a good time.
Mhm. But anyway, like I said, back to the meat and potatoes. Meat and taters. We're talking about action, but specifically roadblocks that keep you from your actions. So
Hmm.
Joe has, in his 19 years, great vast swaths of experience with roadblocks. So he is gonna lead us on with
I
this
love that I'm
conversation.
19 forever.
Mhm.
Oh, is that my intro there? Is that my handoff?
No, now Joe's
Oh.
gonna talk about roadblocks. Joe, there's my hand up.
I was like, okay, well, hey, that's it. All right. Roadblocks. You're gonna have them. The end.
Have a good one, guys.
They're gonna,
Give the outro and just leave it right there.
they're gonna be there. You're gonna have roadblocks. I mean, it's inevitable. Anytime you start down a path for anything, to achieve anything, you're gonna have challenges. You're gonna have stuff that pops up in front of you. Your plan isn't necessarily gonna go according to plan. So you're going to have to make adjustments, and it's just going to happen. I came across a quote the other day. It says, "Do not fear failure, not because you will somehow avoid it, but because you will absolutely find it. When you can learn to embrace failure, you will be able to move past it." And so, and I think that's an important key because so many times, this goes into roadblocks. You could look at any type of failure as a roadblock. It's stopping you from getting any progress toward what you're trying to achieve. And we're taught that failure is a bad thing all through school. Like we're trying to avoid failure the whole time, our whole childhood as we're growing up. And I just got done with school because I'm 19.
Mhm.
So I understand this very well. Um, In fact, like there's all this psychology about red ink, that I heard of a few years ago. Like they don't want teachers using red ink because somehow shows some type of failure to the kid and hurts their self-image or something. And I'm like, no, it's not about, teaching us that failure is bad. Because in the school world, as we're growing up, you get all this education, you get training, you learn a whole bunch of stuff, and then you take a test based on all the stuff you already learned. In the real world, you get the test first and you fail and you learn from those failures and you try again. That's how it works in the real world. Like it's amazing. Like when I finally started to understand, oh, it's okay to fail. So I should just, if I want to move forward, I ought to increase my rate of failure. Because if I'm failing a bunch, then I know that I'm trying, right? You look at Thomas Edison, the classic story, with the light bulb. He failed over 1,000 times before he succeeded in finding the correct combination of material for the filament for the light bulb. And they asked him, they said, what was it like failing so many times? And he says, I didn't fail. I just found 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. And that's how we have to look at things. It's like a roadblock. Anytime he would fail, anytime whatever combination he would use didn't work, he didn't sit there and be like, oh, I mean, I'm sure there were frustrating times when he was like, this is time 957. All right. But the quicker you can embrace that and be like, okay, I failed, big deal. Let's move on to the next one. Now I just learned what not to do. Then you can just get rid of that, look at it fresh, and now you have some education to go on. And it's really cool. Like, I used to get so distraught anytime something would happen that would stop me. And what I've learned now is that every single one of those was some kind of a stepping stone because it was a learning experience for one. There was stuff I could take from it, whether even stuff that's not even related to my goal. Like there's just life experience. I'm building XP, if you will, right? So like either way, I'm growing as a person just by trying and failing and handling these roadblocks. It's okay. And with every challenge, I know I'm closer than I was before. So it becomes a point of inspiration. It's like, yes, I just found something that stopped me. I can move past it. I can grow and become bigger than it. Maybe I need to go around it. Maybe I need to blast through it. Maybe there's something I can take in here and add to, whatever I'm trying to do. But they can be total stepping stones on your way to achieving what you're looking for. So hopefully that starts us off in the right direction. I'm going to turn it over to Joe.
Thanks, Joe. Good stuff. Good stuff. One of the things um, Joe touched on a little bit here is just this fear of failure. It's probably one of the largest roadblocks that we'll ever have. Because again, the roadblocks before you get started are probably the biggest ones. Like the hurdles you face when you're actively like going, you end up usually just running right over. But the roadblocks before you start really keep us back. Yes, Joe, you definitely look like you're the one in the fight. You look like you got you actually had sparring practice yesterday.
I didn't. Maybe it's because I'm looking forward to sparring. It's already Wednesday. I haven't done any martial arts classes this week yet. Maybe that's why. Maybe I'm like starting to go stir crazy. I need to beat something.
And Joe, he practiced against his chair.
Yeah, that thing.
The darn chair back there.
Ah.
uh,
Ah.
anyway, welcome, welcome, people who are here now. It's
Uh,
good to see you. We're talking today about action. Action is one of the things that you end up doing when you want to accomplish stuff. Um,
hmm,
any kind of projects that you've had, any kind of life that you lived revolves around the fact that you came up with a purpose or a plan and then moved into action.
hmm,
And this week we've talked specifically on the idea of, hey, we need to get going. We need to, now that we figured out what we're doing with our life, which is what we talked about all last week, we need to get moving. And movement is a little bit tougher to do when somebody puts a roadblock in your way. But what we often find are the people putting roadblocks in our way, usually ourselves. And generally, we have to get out of our own way in order to get started. These roadblocks are generally fear related, they can be financially related, they can be many number of things that, when we get down and start thinking about it, aren't actually really stopping us from doing. So I wanted to start with fear because Joe already touched on it, and I find that for me and for many other people, fear is the number one preventer of getting started.
hmm, hmm,
It's because we're afraid. It's because we don't think that we'll be successful. We think we're going to fail, which generally is a pride thing. Like, don't be afraid of failure. Like, I feel as though, even Thomas Edison talks about, well, I didn't fail. It's a pride thing. Like, yes, you did. You failed 1,000 times, and that's okay. Like, that's not a bad thing. But like, we have such an aversion to what we would classify today as a failure
mhm,
that we don't even try. So it it's not bad. Like Joe talks about, we're going to be tested many times throughout your life where you haven't had, a week to practice and study and to prepare yourself for the test. It's just there. And you have to decide what's going to be my best action. And that's how you learn to make decisions. That's how we come into who we are. How do we decide what to do when we don't have the training or the knowledge or the ability to deal with certain things? You know, I think we've talked about it before a few times, and it's been talked about on Don't Worry Wednesday. But there are things in your life that you're not going to be prepared for. I mentioned it one time. I had that question on Don't Worry Wednesday. Hey, I'm about to get married, and I'm not prepared. What do I do?
mhm.
You don't get
Jump
prepared.
in, man.
Have fun. I'm gonna have kids. What do I do? There you go. Good luck. And
Wait, are
yeah,
you making an announcement here, Joe?
no.
Oh, okay.
I would not start by announcing it to random people I don't know on the internet. Um,
You know these
but
people, we're all friends.
yeah, we are all friends. I do know the vast majority of these people.
Yeah.
Raka, Jono, and Akil have been here a while. I don't know Jiki-san, but welcome. And I'm sure I butchered that name. Lilia has been around before. Cryptid Death has been here before, and they're fun to talk to. D-Rez came back from a long time ago. I remember when we first um, sent everyone over to like his stuff. He has some really cool, I think dubs, if I remember. He was dubbing comics,
Hmm.
so that's some cool stuff. I've been trying to keep track, but man, there's a lot going on. Yeah, we just do shout outs. Oh, Tef. Yes, Tef, you are just a random person, which is great. Tef is my favorite random person. But again, there are so many things that we can say. Hey, we're not gonna be good enough. We're afraid of the consequences because guess what? Every decision you make will have consequences. In learning that, um, there's gonna be a portion of that to deal with. That hey, you're gonna make that decision. Some things are gonna happen that you might or may not like, but to just enjoy that decision and to just live with the results. And it's gonna be great. Like it's a fun experience to um be able to look back in life and say, wow, I really didn't have very many good options there. But you know what? I picked the one I wanted to pick, and this is where my life is now.
Mm.
It can really change the way that you look at decision making. So, um, more on that is just what I want you to think about as you're facing roadblocks, as you're facing this specific roadblock of fear, is to is to recognize that you don't have to be ready. You don't have to be prepared. You don't have to have everything together because you never will. In case you haven't looked out at the world today, there are things that even the largest governments in the world are not prepared for. There are things that anyone in the world is not going to be prepared for. And at the end of the day, nobody is going to question the fact that, hey, you weren't ready. There are things that nobody's ever ready for, and that's okay. But what they will look at is, what did you do in response? All right, you've got a problem. You're faced with a problem. What are you going to do now? And that's where people are going to judge your character. So, this isn't like a, hey, you're going to die if you don't make the right decision. This is make a decision. Be a person of conviction and quality and chase those things, even when there's a bump in the road that might even be yourself keeping you from moving forward.
Mm.
That's what I got. So I'm going to kick it back to Joe, who looks like he's got more brilliance.
I do have more brilliance. My head is a little shiny. It's brilliantly shiny. Um, I think one of the things as you were talking, it came to mind that the importance of maintaining good inputs, like maintaining good media, good programming that's going into your head, where there's good books, good audios, good videos, stuff like that, stuff that's empowering and uplifting. Because as you were talking about, like something like the pandemic that hits us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to make decisions, right? And there are people in authority that have made decisions. And the interesting thing is like, I mean, we are in uncharted territory, and so people are just making decisions based on what they think might be best. And the thing is, man, every once in a while I catch a little bit of the news, and they just pick apart everybody's decision. Like sometimes decisions that had to be made split second on the fly, and these guys just hammer it. They're like, that decision was so bad because this, and this, and this, and this. And it's like, you know what? So if we think that we're going to be scrutinized like that, then we don't want to, then we're not going to want to make decisions. I don't know about you. I'm not going to. If I feel like, anytime I make a decision, it's going to be like, ugh, somebody's gonna totally tear it apart and bash it. Like, what the heck, man? I don't want to do that. So one of the things that I've taken comfort in, and this goes right along with the roadblocks and with failure and everything, is that I know anytime I make a decision, there's probably going to be something wrong with it. That's okay. It's okay. Every time I decide to try something new, there's probably going to be something wrong with it. Somebody's not going to like it. Probably my wife. There's going to be something wrong with it. And that's okay, because then you figure out, then you find out how to adjust it and make it right. I'm reminded of, where I'm at now with, I mean, this is going to sound really detailed, but just as simple as shaping a bass drum in the recording, right? With the right amount of EQ, the right amount of compression, all that stuff, mixed together to form this kick drum sound. And I've got a new song that's in the works right now where I finally figured out. I think I finally got it dialed in right. And so these songs I've released along the way over the years, it's like, okay, I feel like I just haven't gotten it right that whole time. You know, so I look back and I'm like, man, that this bass drum just it actually sounds good now. So I'm like, okay, every every time before was like practice and getting it just formed just right. And so every decision you make that's going to have something wrong with it, it's okay, because that's going to be a place where you can make an adjustment. You can kind of fine tune your life into something great by making those decisions and understanding, okay, the things that are wrong, it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to get stopped, because what you're going to do is you're just going to find a way to shape it. And every correction that you make is just going to make it that much more of a beautiful thing. Like anytime we start anything, we're not all that great at it. Anytime you make some kind of a new decision, you know, we never start something and are immediately good at it. We have to try and try and try again, and then eventually we get good. I started off in Taekwondo as a white belt. I was not very good. I was not in good shape, and I was not I was totally scared.
Mm.
I got kicked in the face.
Oof.
Well, it wasn't all that fun. You learn to block, which is key. Blocking is important. But over time, those mistakes get turned into successes because you make the proper adjustments as a result of your roadblocks. That's what causes you to shape something and create something great. So without having any roadblocks, you're probably going to stay mediocre. But every roadblock you have is a way for you to improve your game. It's a way for you to make an adjustment and make it better and make it more and more beautiful. And then at the end, you're going to have something that you can be really, really proud of for a couple reasons. One, because it is beautiful and it's very well, you know, you've created something beautiful. The other reason is you in yourself have created strength by handling adversity, which is really, I mean, anytime you want to build anything, adversity is a requirement. And that's exactly what roadblocks are. They're little moments of adversity for you. And it's going to build you into a stronger person and give you the opportunity to create something greater than it ever could have been before without that roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that makes sense. Back to you, Joe.
Think so. Hey, D-Rest came back, so I'm just gonna share his YouTube channel. Speaking of people who faced some adversity, I remember when we last talked, you were down like some of these videos had like views in the tens, like 10 to 20.
Where's D-Rest? Did
Uh,
you post the link?
yeah, I posted the link. I don't know if it linked through, but the post is you can just copy that
It's
and
not in the chat.
now maybe it never went through. Ah, I've broken it. Well,
It's not there, man.
I'll figure out a way to get it there. But D-Rez had like 20 or 30 views. Now he's got videos with like 20 to 30 to 100,000 views. Um, and I
Yeah.
mean, I'm glad that I just hit a button and sorry, I was looking at some things. Our video, oh, the video's gone, but that's okay.
Oh
We're
no!
dealing with adversity here,
Are we
ladies and
still
gentlemen.
here?
Oh, we're still here. We're just
Okay.
not here
Phew.
visually, so nobody can see us. It's great. Because I didn't know that would do that. So one of the things to think about as you're going through life is that
Actually, they can't see us.
yeah, I know we're fixing it. This is
I
this
can't.
is this is the adversity that we were talking about
Oh yeah.
just moments
I can do
ago.
whatever, and nobody can see this.
Oh Joe, oh Joe,
You don't know what it is I'm doing.
ask me. Do do do.
It's all of a sudden going to come back on, and I'm going to be caught in an embarrassing moment. It's going to be hilarious. Oh, hey, there you are.
I am. Haha.
Hey, you're there.
Take that, Joe. Oh, no, no, keep that away from me. Keep that away from me. All right. So this is what we're talking about. Like there are things that you are gonna do that just you're not gonna be ready for. It's just gonna happen.
That's
I'm over
right.
here just trying to plug a YouTube link and boom, the video is gone. And, and that's okay. Like there are gonna be things that you face that you're not ready for, that you aren't gonna be prepared for, that you're gonna get out there and think, man, why did I have to face that? Why did I have to deal with my video just shutting
With
down
that.
randomly? It's not very nice.
Don't
It's
touch me.
oh, oh. So
Hey, don't touch me.
nope, no, oh my goodness, no.
Name that person who said that. That in the chat. That's your obscure reference of the day. Ryan probably knows it.
Obscure references. So
All
we,
right, Joe. I'm totally interrupting you. Thank
yeah,
you.
I don't know what break is, but
Rack. That's
see,
awesome.
this is how few even references I get of Joe's. So this show is almost 100% references to something else. If you didn't know that already, which is great. If you can figure out how many references we put together in one show, we count them up. There's a ton. There are metric ton of quotes and references. So
Dude, we are setting ourselves up for sponsorships by
yes,
doing this, right?
yes,
Like
yeah.
that's it.
Yep. Sponsorships. We're looking at you, potential sponsorship people.
Yes, all of you, and you still haven't put the D-Res link in there.
I have
I
to.
noticed
Yeah.
that.
Okay. So okay. Here's the problem though. If I try to do it again, I'm afraid that what we're gonna have is I'm gonna remove the. Nobody's gonna see anything. Well,
Well, you can't like the chat used to be like you could click on somebody, the little three dots, and you could go right to their channel, but now you can't anymore. Like YouTube changed
oh, hey, look
changed the
there. Well,
chat. There it is. Look at that.
that's okay, D-Res.
Am
We're not really sure what's going on either.
am I missing something? Because I used to be able to click the three dots next to somebody's name in the chat, and a thing would pop up and say, "Go to their channel." But now it doesn't do that anymore.
I don't know. I don't know what three dots you're talking about.
In the
Oh, hey, look
chat,
at
man.
that.
See
Report
the
or
three dots?
block.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you get.
Oh,
All right, well, if it's not a moderator, you get report, remove, put user in timeout, hide user on this channel. But there's no go to their channel. Like that's
yeah, it is kind of sad. But I don't
yeah,
know. I think it's a YouTube change.
dang YouTube.
No,
Oh
darn,
no,
darn
they're gonna
YouTube.
shut down our channel because I said something bad about YouTube.
Oh, Joe, what have you done now?
uh,
That would just be
all right,
another
guys.
roadblock we'd have to get past. We would
We
just have
would.
to.
We'd be like, all right, well, I guess we'll go to Twitch or something. We'll figure out.
hmm So, but those are just roadblocks. They're all different things that, again, what you're going to find is the vast majority of them deal with the fact of this idea of fear, of being afraid to get past such and such a thing. But I think when you look at the grand scheme of things, Joe's talked about it, the roadblocks that you face will improve whatever you're working on. They will improve the overall quality of your projects. They will improve the mindset that you have towards your projects.
Hmm.
Like roadblocks can and will be a really good thing. They can be as simple as making sure that you are committed to your project. You know, you could have like, man, I've just got to keep doing it, and not really changing anything. And then you find out on the other end that was what you needed to do was just keep going.
Mhm.
Sometimes the roadblock is going to be like, this isn't a good direction for you to go. It's time to change. And that's also a good roadblock because it improves your project. Like, all right, this one doesn't need to see the light of day. It's not a good one. I have something better that I can be working on.
Mhm.
there are all these different reasons that these roadblocks exist. And like we talked about earlier, there's not really a right answer. Like I don't know which of your roadblocks is it's time for me to stop and move to something different, and which ones are I need to keep pushing on. I don't get to decide that for you. You get to decide that for you. And that's what makes this life very, very interesting and very, very fun. It and these answers they come out. Eventually you'll have your answer. You'll have where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do. But that all comes from practice, a whole lot of trial and error, and just living life along the way.
Yep.
So, thanks for being here, guys. It was a pleasure. It always is a pleasure to see you.
It is.
It is the most wonderful thing to talk, to see where people have gone. G-Rez, it's good to see you again. Obviously, you've been busy. I'm looking at all these past live streams, and there's like 3 a week. We know what that's like now these days.
Yeah.
It gets,
Way to go.
It gets really busy, so we appreciate you stopping in. It's a lot of fun to see where everyone goes. I think, if nothing else, that is our dream and goal of the show is that you can take what we talk about here and keep going with what you're doing. Make it amazing, make it great. So it's really cool to have you come back and talk to us. Jehoshaphat, it's good to have you come back, even if it's only for us to say hi, and we love having you here.
Yeah. Well, there's a pretty cool song that shows up at the end once in a while after Joe cuts me off in the middle of the sentence. That's pretty cool.
What? Did Joe cut you off in the middle of a sentence? That doesn't happen too often.
It only happens daily. It's not that big a deal.
Every single day.
That's all. But yeah,
right.
you're right. It's great to see all of you. And remember, your roadblocks are very useful things. Use them wisely. Use them wisely, my son.
Yes. And Jehoshaphat
said one 19-year-old to the other.
Yep. Not even close. We're not even close anymore. But hey, if you're here, like now is a great time for you to go ahead and pop on over to the BSS Studio forums, where we would. Joe's gonna post a link for us, but we would love to have your topics. Maybe you and your people are lurking. Maybe you don't want to have. You don't have to interact with us all the time. But what you can do is hop on over to BSS Studio and share your ideas. Share what you want us to talk about. It doesn't matter what the topic is, and it doesn't matter if we're really qualified to speak on it. It's called Free for All Friday.
Mm-hmm.
We don't charge you for it, just like we don't charge you for any other day of the week. The idea of free.
That's right.
And then you can post all the things you can think about. So it's Free for All Friday. Anything that comes to mind that you want to discuss, that you want to go over, we'd love to discuss it with you. We'd love to have that talk. We'd love to say, hey, here's what we think. It can be as crazy and out there as numerology. It can be as unusual and varied in thinking as metaphors. We've talked about a lot of stuff, and we would love to talk about more very interesting, very fun topics. But we want them to be yours. We want you to reach out and create a little bit of something, because I think what you'll find is once you start doing one thing, it's easier to start doing another.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole idea behind this week. Come back tomorrow. We're going to finish up this topic of action. We are specifically talking. What are we specifically talking on, Joe?
That's a good question. I think perseverance.
Yeah, we're specifically talking about perseverance. So today we're talking about roadblocks that happen pretty much right when you're starting. But tomorrow we're going to talk about, hey, how do you deal with, like, you're rolling down that hill, your action, you keep having all these things that you're doing, but man, every little bump along the way is really starting to hurt. And what do you do to get through that? So
come back. How do you be a finisher?
Finish him.
Finish him.
Oh, good work. Good work.
Nice.
Perfect. So, that's what we're talking about tomorrow. We're going to finish this topic off. We hope you had nearly as much fun as we did. If not, we had a bunch of fun, so it doesn't really matter.
We did.
So,
We really do this show for us.
mm-hmm. So,
I
and
don't know what that was. That was a weird.
well,
I got to do the handsome dance.
yeah, we have the music that they can't hear. It's all in the headphones. Sorry, guys. But anyway, come back tomorrow. We love having you, and we'll see you then.
Yeah. See you guys later. It's going to be a good old time.